going? How are you? What's new? I decided to put out a Q&A a few weeks ago on all of my social medias, and I told you guys to ask whatever you wanted. So here's a compilation. I'll try to get to everybody's questions in a reasonable amount of time, and let's see what you had to ask. First up on our list from Joe. What is the meaning of life? Way to start off our Q&A session here there, Joe. It's a little deep for 12:29 in the afternoon on a Thursday, but I'll take it. I think that the meaning of life is to make yourself happy, to make others happy, and to leave an impact in a positive way. Yeah, I think that's all I got for right now. All right, next, Dave A. From Facebook had 4 or 5 questions for me. Dave. Okay, first question. Why Spanish, say, instead of French or German? I chose Spanish because I knew that it would benefit me in life in a lot of different ways. I knew that Spanish was an up-and-coming language in schools being taught as a second language. I knew that a lot of people around the world spoke Spanish. I knew that the area in which we live, there are a lot of people who speak Spanish, so I felt that by knowing Spanish, I could connect with others who would know the language as well. Interrupting puppy! Hello there! Oh, bless you! What you doing? Please excuse my dog's feet in the background with her ticky-tacky nails. I knew that I could easily get a teaching job if I taught Spanish, and I honestly didn't have any interest of learning French or German at the time. I still don't really have any interest in learning German. French, it depends on the day. Pineapple pizza, yay or nay? Ugh, nay. Definitely not. No thanks. Why the devils? Seriously. Okay, so I'm from New Jersey. I have lived in New Jersey all of my life. I lived about an hour north of where I live now, which is approximately in the center of the state. Yes, Central Jersey exists, like rainbows and unicorns. Deal with it. So that was the quote-unquote local team to like from where I lived. I had a few people here and there growing up who liked the Flyers, but it was really mostly the New Jersey Devils or even the Rangers. Another reason why the Devils is because my dad liked the Devils when I was a little kid, so obviously I wanted to be just like him, so I liked whatever he liked, except for in football, and we're not gonna talk about that because I'm gonna lose a lot of subscribers. Anyway, my dad used to be a Rangers fan, but then he converted later on in his life to be a Devils fan, and here we are in 2020 still liking the Devils, even though hockey was kind of awash this season with quarantine and the coronavirus and things. But yes, so moral of the story is the Devils because of where I'm from and because they are New Jersey's team, not Philadelphia's team. Yeah, you can invite 4 currently living famous people from any walk of life to your house for a barbecue. Who's coming? Wow, okay. Barack and Michelle Obama, for sure. Emma Watson, because I think she does a lot for the world, and I think that she means well as a young person around my age, and she's made an impact on many people in more ways than just being an actress. She's putting her money where her mouth is, and she's helping out with organizations and things like that. John Mulaney. I would definitely invite John Mulaney to my house for a little bit of entertainment, and I think that it would be really cool to see a normal-ish looking guy who has turned himself into a comedian just kind of being at my house. I think it'd be really cool. And then the last question from Dave is real book or e-reader? Definitely a real book. I like the feeling of holding something in my hands. Also, I don't like reading from a screen. I feel like I don't learn that way when, let's say, I'm reading something for school or to my students or whatever. I get headaches from looking at a screen too long. So I think that a real book would definitely be the way to go. Thank you, Dave, for all 4 of your questions. Next, from Dave Luna. You can only eat 2 things for the rest of your life. What are they? Sushi and cheese. Hands down, 100%. Oh no, but I forgot chocolate. Oh, Next from Sierra, what's your go-to meal to make for a crowd? Definitely tacos. Not just because I'm a Spanish teacher, but because generally people really like tacos. And you can customize them in all different kinds of ways, and they don't just have to be one certain way to make tacos. Martin B, why do we let you be a country? For some context, Martin lives in England, and I've been friends with him via the internet for almost 10 years now, and he and I complain about our current states of being frequently to each other. And I want to throw that question back to him. Why are you a country right now? From Lydia, top 5 albums of all time. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to answer this right now as an almost 30-year-old with things that I can listen to on repeat all the time. So that would be Bonobo, Black Sands, Deja Entendu by Brand New, anything by Brad Mehldau, for sure, Juturna by Circa Survive, Folie à Deux by Fall Out Boy, and Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy. I know that's very 2007 of me, but I'm not sorry. Next one from Elizabeth. How old is Izzy? Also, what's your favorite part of the day? Izzy is going to be a 6-year-old girl on June 27th. So she is going to be a middle-aged lady soon. Yeah, she's a big girl. Favorite part of the day? I like evening time. I like the time between dinner and when the sun officially sets, because I like looking at the sunsets every day. From Mia, what is your favorite dog breed? Obviously pit bulls, for Izzy reasons, but aesthetically I like Bernese Mountain Dogs, I like Golden Retrievers, I love Corgis, and I love Shiba Inus. Delaney Smith, what's your favorite childhood memory? Anytime I went to Disney World. I haven't been since 2007, because as an adult, you actually have to pay to go, so it's actually expensive, and they've upped the prices of things because technology and modern things and stuff. Anyways, I have distinct memories of being there from when I was a little kid. There's a specific memory from when I was 4 or 5, when I got to actually spend 15 minutes with Cinderella, and my parents have this on tape. I'm gonna have to ask them for pictures and stuff like that to put here in the video. But we sang and we danced in the lobby of the Cinderella Castle, and I would say that's probably one of my favorite childhood memories. Also, anything that involves my sister as a baby and dressing her up and putting ridiculous things on her head would also be another favorite childhood memory. Insert pictures here. From Kyler, favorite Star Wars movie? Oh boy. I like The Empire Strikes Back the best, I would say. Yes, I like The Empire Strikes Back, for sure. That's the one that I would reach to, if I had my choice, for sure. From Zach, who is your favorite Zach? This is from my cousin, so obviously he wants me to say him. So Zach, you are my favorite cousin, honey. Thank you. From Megan, what inspired you to become a Spanish teacher or just a teacher in general? Great question. So I've kind of always known that I've wanted to be a teacher, but in 3rd grade, I had an excellent teacher who I'm actually still in touch with today, which is really cool. Thank you, Facebook. And she was just super kind and super understanding, and she taught me a lot in 3rd grade, personally and academically, of course. And I just thought that I would want to be like her someday when I grew up. I was always a leader amongst the group of my friends, even when I became a teenager and older and things like that. I was always the person in charge, or was the one who made decisions and things like that. And I don't know, I just always was good with kids, and I always thought that I could kind of take my leadership skills and put them in a positive way of being a teacher. Now, for a Spanish teacher specifically, so long story short, I went to college originally to be a history teacher. Think about that. I could have been your history teacher. As part of my requirements for being a history teacher, according to my college, I had to take 2 semesters or 2 classes of another foreign language. And I had taken Spanish from 6th grade all the way until 10th grade. So I thought that I would just pick it back up again. And then one day in my Spanish 1 class, I'm sitting there and I was like, you know what? This would be a really good idea. So I literally went the next day and I changed my major from history to Spanish. And I'm honestly really, really glad that I did, because it's brought me so many opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I had just been a history teacher. From Faith, is there a possibility of getting another dog in the future? Well, I don't know. It depends on Miss Prissy Pants in the next room. She has slight dog aggression issues. She's really good with people, really good with kids. That's totally not a problem. It's just that with other dogs, she tries to be the dominant one and she doesn't know how to be social. My dog is literally socially awkward, but in like an angry way. So I don't know. We have to find people that are understanding of her situation. We have to find a rescue that's understanding, and we have to find the right dog that is patient enough to understand Izzy's situation. But at the same time, we need to be understanding of Izzy's needs and how she reacts to other dogs. So we don't want to force it. The answer is maybe. It really honestly depends. I'm okay with being a one dog household if that's how Izzy needs it to be. But if we end up getting another dog and it ends up working out, great, sure. From Marty, how do you go to Wawa for your moms? I think she meant, why do you go to Wawa for your moms? What she's referring to is at school, whenever I have a break, sometimes I will go to Wawa, and I always ask the nurses and the secretaries if they ever want any coffee, because they're the people who work the hardest at school, obviously. So it's because I love you, Marty, and it's because I love you and Sarah, and I always try to take care of you guys because I don't know how often people get to do things like that for you. From Kim, Star Wars versus Star Trek, where do you stand? And yes, there's only one right answer. That's a lot of pressure. I don't know if I can answer it. From Allison, when are you coming back to Florida to visit me? Allison, I miss you dearly. When am I coming back to Florida? Great question. If you want to send me like, a couple bucks to, travel down there, and also if you could make the coronavirus go away, I'll be down there in an instant. I promise you. But the real answer is hopefully sooner rather than later. I haven't been away in a while, and I would like to, come visit. And we haven't seen each other in 8 years or something like that. So it'd be really nice to catch up. From Marion, if you could go to one place in the world with an unlimited budget other than Spain, where would you go? And why do you love me so much? That's an easy question. I love you so much because we are twins and you are my work wife, and because you make me happy, and I feel like I've known you my entire life, even though it's only been about 5 years since I've actually known you, and you make me happy and comfortable, and I really enjoy being really good friends with you. As far as the first question goes, if I could go anywhere in the world with an unlimited budget, I would probably go to Italy. I have been wanting to go to Italy for a very, very long time. I know a little bit of Italian, so I can kind of get around. I think that it's beautiful there, and I think there's a varied amount of different subcultures and things like that where I think it would be fulfilling for me to learn and just to appreciate another part of the world. From Kathy, who is the Frito Bandito? You are the Frito Bandito, Kathy. From Ryan, I already know this, but I appreciate you for being a Devils fan. Is there a question in that? From Chloe, when in your life did you think, oh, I want to be a Spanish teacher? I kind of answered that already, but to be specific to that, when, that would be my sophomore year of college, so that was 2009, the end of 2009. Next, from Kaylee, what has been your favorite memory of working at our school been so far? If you can't think of only one, do top 3 or top 5. Oh boy. Okay, so I would say any of the walkathons have been super fun. Those were really memorable. I have enjoyed certain classes, specifically in 7th grade and 8th grade. I end up enjoying the older kids a little bit more. No offense, 6th graders, my bad. I've also enjoyed any time that the therapy dogs have come to visit. And the only reason why Kaylee asked me this question is because she wants me to say that I've enjoyed having her in class because, middle schoolers. But anyway. From Jeff, how long is a foot? Yes. From Kirsten, the peanut is neither a pea or a nut. Discuss. Yes, because it's a legume. Don't ask me why it is neither a pea or a nut, and then whoever discovered the peanut put the two words together to make a sandwich word and call it a peanut, but it's a legume and I'm allergic and I hate it. From Jess, who is your favorite student? Next question. From Damon, best basketball player in the school. I am going to answer this question honestly, and I'm going to say that I haven't been to enough basketball games at our school in order to make an objective answer. And the only reason why, Damon, that you asked me this question is because you want me to say you. Like I said, middle schoolers. Another question from Aaron. When did you get your dog? Good question. We got Izzy 5 years ago in 2015 at the end of this month. Ironically, her birthday is also the same day as her adoption day. So on June 27th, we will have her for 5 years, and she will be a 6-year-old girl. From Kellen. If you get 2 Domino's pizzas for $5.99, where the heck do you get $35 from? Your mother. From Cameron. Is Cameron your favorite? We all know she is. Next question. From Cassidy. Are you happy or sad the school year is over? I'm happy because the school year was stressful in lots of different ways, with online learning. And even before online learning, I was feeling very stressed out for a number of reasons personally at work. So being at home actually kind of helped me get past those things that I was having issues with before quarantine. But I'm also sad because I didn't get to give a proper goodbye to the 8th graders who are graduating. And, you know, I just feel badly that they didn't get to have the 8th grade year that they thought that they would have. Yeah, so I'm kind of both, to be honest, yeah. All right, we got a few more. From Niall. Have you ever done something embarrassing at school and the students saw? If so, what is it? Yes, in fact. My first year of teaching, and I believe it was 2 years ago, I got a nosebleed in the middle of class. In my first year of teaching, in the afternoons, I would take a cart around to the different classrooms where I had to teach. And sometimes the teacher would stay in the room, and sometimes the teacher would not be in that room while I was teaching. So during that 8th grade class, I just happened to look down at the keyboard, and all of a sudden I had blood on my fingers. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So thankfully the other teacher whose classroom it was in the room with me. And I said to her, can I go to the nurse? So I ran to the nurse, and yes, I did have a nosebleed. I wasn't sick or anything. I think it was just like, cause all of the classrooms were dry and stuff like that. And I guess I hadn't been properly hydrated or anything. But then, yeah, it happened to me again a few years ago. And I had to grab a teacher from the hallway to come watch my room while I ran down to the nurse's office again. From Corinne. How is your day going? My day's okay. Quiet. I don't really have much to do today, so I decided to make this video. So, yeah. Thank you for asking, Corinne. I appreciate it. From Remy. What were you going to be if you didn't become a teacher? Depending on what age you asked me this question, I would have different answers. For example, when I was very, very little, I would have said an actress or a waitress. If you had asked me around 7 or 8, I would have been an astronaut. But I think as an adult, the real answer was I would have gone to culinary school to become a chef. From Ashley. Who is your favorite sister? You. And my last question is from Ari. What is the correct way to pronounce water? Hilarious. Very funny. So if you know me, I have mentioned previously that I am not from around South Jersey. So if you are unfamiliar, there is a specific accent that a lot of South Jersey / Philadelphians peoples have, and they pronounce the word water like wooder. Wooder. But if you go to dictionary.reference.com, as I am going to here, you are going to see that the correct way to pronounce the word water is water. However, if you are my mother or any of my relatives from New York, you would say water. So that's all the questions. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted a question. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and give a like to the video. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. I will be coming out with a video. It seems to be about every 2 weeks or so. Leave a comment down below of any other questions that you would like to have me answer, and I would be happy to reply to them. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!